Rajashree Sharath, Principal Architect of Rajashree Sharath Architects. This was founded in 1990. I graduated from the prestigious School of Architecture and Planning, and that was the only college then in Chennai. And went on to do my masters from the same institution, and I secured the gold medal for my masters. When we were in the college, like the entire college, we were just 100 of us, and in every year, like we were just 25 of us maximum. So there was a lot of interaction, and there was personal attention by our professors, like, and we used to interact with our seniors, and we learned a lot from our seniors, in fact, and we definitely did the same thing to our juniors. And whenever anybody worked on any thesis, our seniors worked on thesis, we were there to work with them. In fact, we always used to look for an opportunity where we can work on their thesis works and their designs. So there is a lot of learning happening between years. And one of the reasons was because the number was less, then it was easier, and all our professors were easily accessible, and all of them were there ready to help us with our designs and even our structural consultants. So anytime we can approach them during college hours, and they were there for us. Like when during our days it was totally manual, and we used to have large boards in the classrooms, which I don't see it now. And we used to work from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. We used to be in the college, and we used to work on our designs in college premises, and we had professors who were supervising us, and our seniors used to come into our classrooms, and a lot of discussion, and there was a lot of knowledge share happening between the students. And I definitely enjoy working manual. Even today I work with a lot of freehand sketches, and any project I take, I believe in working with the 3D first, and I try to visualize how the forms would look, and so I make a lot of freehand sketching, and then maybe come back to the 2D planning kind of thing. I really don't know whether that's the right way of working, but that's how I work. I enjoy creating awe-inducing spaces in most of my buildings. This I establish with the proper usage of form and scale. I generally work with dimensions larger than the normal dimensions. So I look at high ceiling and tall doors and windows. And we introduce a lot of spaces like podiums, foyers, and courtyards, where we could create the grandeur, and the scale could be expressed. And I give a lot of importance to natural lighting and artificial lighting. These we bring about with spaces like perforated ceiling and pergolas and dormers, and this creates a dynamism in the building, and which dramatizes the interior spaces. And I give a lot of importance to artificial lighting too. So proper and optimum usage of lighting can bring about soulful spaces in interiors. And I work with a lot of natural stones and natural material to bring in the texture, and I give a lot of importance to colors or usage of colors. And normally my architecture has very neutral colors, and bring color in forms of soft furnishing and artifacts. So my basic architecture is very neutral in color. Yeah, since I started off with the three-star hotel, we learnt about services at a very early stage, and just that we got a lot of projects after that, and we worked on a wide spectrum of genre, and our we had a construction company also, my husband's construction company, so it was easy for us to take up projects on a turnkey, and we worked on large scale corporate interiors and medical spaces. And I should definitely thank my family, the supportive family, and understanding husband. Um, and we have always been having an excellent team through 30 years, and we were very, very positive. And I should definitely talk about my clients who have also been very appreciative about our works. Even during this lockdown, I had been getting so many messages, and people have been calling up, and they've been enjoying our interior spaces and our architectural spaces, because people are living there for 24 hours, and they were sharing their experiences about the spaces which we have created, our team has created for them. Actually, as soon as I finished my master's, I wanted to work for an architect for a while, but that didn't happen because uh, the good projects and the engineering team and the cozy office was right in front of me, was given to me on a platter. So I had to start off my career, and it was a good beginning. And I should definitely thank my supportive family and my supportive team, and it's been a very smooth sail through 30 years. I mean, the entire team who has been with me for in the past 30 years, I owe my success to my team, who've been very positive and who've been very helpful and sincere and committed. And people who have moved out of my team have started on their own, and they are all very, very well established and doing very well. And still, they are all there for me even today. Like, if I need any help, they are there for me to support me with my presentation, or if I have a project presentation, they are there to render their help. And we have a WhatsApp group which is called as RSA, Rajashree Sharath Architects, where all the team members who have been with me through the past 30 years are part of the team. So we are on day-to-day touch with them. So it makes me feel good about it. I should say I'm really blessed about being in a profession which I'm very passionate about. I've been in academics for quite some time. In fact, immediately after I finished my masters, I used to visit the Polytechnic College, and I used to be part of their various subjects. I used to be a visiting faculty with them, and I was attached with a couple of colleges then too. Um, um, Now I visit few colleges. I'm an external in the thesis jury and design reviews. Um, I should say it's so much of knowledge sharing, and still in the learning process. It's more than giving back to the profession. Um, I've been learning a lot out of it, and 5 years of undergraduation, 2 years of masters, and a few years of internship in an architect's firm, and 30 years of my own practice is still definitely not sufficient. A lot of updation and thing is definitely required. So this association with the fraternity and the fresh minds is very vital, and it's definitely required. and my clients are also very happy because I sketch out and show them how their interior spaces would look and how their buildings would look, and it's a lot of excitement. No, definitely automation is required now for the future and for the present because it's a lot of time saving. But I think so we should have the right balance of both. So at least in the conceptual stage we should work with manual sketches. So at least to know the proportions and the scale and the dimensions, which I personally, because since I'm not used to so much of automation, I'm not very comfortable with the digital world. I'm very comfortable with manual sketching and given a chance, I don't mind even sitting and drafting with pencils and pen and ink. And I feel there's a lot of emotions also which goes into when developing a scheme when we work manually. Yeah, definitely, because even with black and white pencil sketches, we could bring in the depth and show the textures of the materials. And I enjoy painting and water washes with painting, so that is a good tool for me to express, and I can show texture and lighting in the with the help of my watercolors. Materials like when it comes to construction, I believe in using a lot of natural material. So even when it comes to a flooring, I'm more with natural stones like marble and stones like kota and kadapa. Like uh, these sedimentary stones are very important for our tropical weather. It retains a lot of moisture, and so in my projects I use a lot of natural materials and the locally available materials. Yeah, we have worked on quite a few houses using Laurie Baker's techniques because my husband's construction company helped us with these projects. So we worked with filler slab and rat trap brickwork and stabilized. They were all purely residential projects. But we used to have skilled masons then, but as of now, we don't have many. Like people don't have the time, and the workmanship is not sufficient. So, as of now, we are not working on those cost-effective houses, but we used to do a lot. Yeah, most of my projects, especially residences, I try to create those transitional spaces like courtyards and verandas and foyers, those kind of spaces, and a lot of semi-covered spaces, which is essential for our tropical weather, and the joinery, like the fenestrations, basically the doors and windows. I normally play with the scale. So I believe in using larger windows, normal, I mean, larger than the normal. Hospital spaces we have done more than the architecture. We did a couple of small hospitals, but we worked with a lot of interior spaces for corporate hospitals. But then it was more of concentration towards the function and the circulation of the spaces. Yeah, like even when it comes to smaller clinics and thing, we always created an ambience so that it doesn't look like an hospital. So we used to bring in a lot of paintings, and we played with color and the lighting, so that people don't feel tensed, or they don't get tensed. And so when it comes to even for example a waiting area in a clinic, uh, we used to give a different kind of ambience so that people feel stress free, and they're happy about and enjoy being in those spaces. I had the opportunity of living in one of our ancestral houses in the city. This house basically had a lot of interesting spaces. They were all warm and well lit, and, and these houses had a lot of positive energy. Um, and like elements like madras terrace and tall ceiling and colonnade and dormer windows, uh, they gave a good feel and life to the people living in. Having lived in uh, this kind of house, um, it helped me realize how these spaces work, and in fact this has helped me conserve a lot of old houses. Like there were a lot of clients who used to come to me, and they want to demolish this house and go for a new house, which I never really encouraged that. In fact, 3 or 4 beautiful houses which were like 80 years old, uh, we suggested that we could preserve and conserve it for them, and even today it stands beautifully there, and they're all very happy about it. This is a residential house. It's an old house in Mylapore. This had houses like this had roof, madras terrace roof, and high ceiling pan tile roofs, and the width of the walls were like 1.5 feet. And our clients felt that they will not be able to maintain that house, and there were a lot of termites with the madras terrace and things like that. But we helped them conserve the entire house, and it was the pest control was done, and proper painting and proper repair work was done, and not much was spent on the house. And they were so happy to continue to live in their old house, which they really wanted to, but they thought it was not possible. So as architects, I think so we should help to conserve such kind of houses. In fact, the plastering and thing what they had used was all lime plastering and all that. So we tried using the same old techniques to preserve the house. It has been successful. Like to my knowledge, like 2 houses in Mylapore and 2 houses in Triplicane, we helped them conserve, and today it's like 100 years old. Those houses are. The methodology of um, the thesis process, I think it's very similar to what it was like when we were doing, but I think the effort that's going in is getting diminished. Because like for example, when we used to work on a project, like when we worked on our thesis, like we used to give 10 different zonings, but now with the students I see just one zoning, and it's quite shocking. And now the present students have a lot more access to technology and information. Like for us it was just the SAP library and the IIT library where we could get the information, but I think so they have to come up with a lot more efforts and work. But luckily we didn't have the WhatsApp and messaging, so we had all the time to work on it. No, when it came to the school project, we were really lucky that the site was a very large site, because now I see a lot of schools without any space for play area and things like that. So the very important feature for a school is large space, and the scale should be large enough for the uh, kids to feel the thing. And so the school which we designed, the classrooms were really large enough, and we had a lot of open space. and we created a lot of activity spaces. Actually, we had the opportunity of working with the telecom industry. We have done interiors for RPG, Bharti, Vodafone, and one of the interiors, I like the first one which we did was RPG. We worked on the office spaces, lobby, and the offices. There, I had brought in a lot of my freehand sketches and paintings, where I had shown the transition of communication, right from people how they detected from the smoke, and how they traveled by horses, and to the present mobile technology, cellular technology. So I had depicted um, the transition in the form of sketches, and we had displayed in the lobby, and that was a very interesting project which we worked on.